All right, hi everybody. Welcome back to Action Football Sundays. I wanted to talk a little bit here about fatigue and not necessarily exactly how fatigue works in this game, because to be honest with you, I don't think I fully understand everything, but rather why you might see some of those kind of odd fatigue ratings come up from time to time in your games. My understanding from looking through the various Action PC forums is that this is something that may come up in all action games, so you might want to pay a little bit of attention here, regardless of what your favorite game is. So we're looking here at the 1980 Cleveland Browns, and as you know, we've played 5 games so far in the season, and we kind of have a fatigue problem so far, and that is that both Reggie Rucker and Dave Logan are at 85% status, and as such, the computer is automatically substituting them out during situations in which it's pretty important. Now, when we go take a look at their stats here in the replay, we can see the reason why. These real-life stats are accurate. I went and looked it up just a second ago. Reggie Rucker did only have 52 receptions in real life in 1980. He's got 40 so far in the replay, only 2 drops. And if you've been watching, it's kind of obvious why I've been going to him so often, right? The reason why, really, is because Reggie Rucker tends to have the ability to actually make the play, and in an offense where we're having a difficult time getting Pruitt to run, we need to somehow gain yardage. Now, I would argue that what's really happening is we're seeing a lot more plays than the Browns saw in real life at this point in time because we're playing better, right? You can see that Pruitt is actually a little bit above where he normally would be after only 5 games. He's almost already half at his real life total number of rushing attempts, and Charlie White we're going to a lot more often than he was gone to in real life. And his receiving stats are also a little bit out of the blue. But there is a problem here with the receivers, right? Rucker is a little bit too tired, and as a result, the computer will keep taking him out, which makes it a real problem when we're trying to win a ball game. I would much rather keep him in so that we can score a lot of points and then take him out when we're up like 30-0. Right. Same problem exists for Dave Logan. We've only gone to him 29 times in the replay, but he only had 51 receptions in real life. Now, whether this is accurate or not, whether it would be better to have the attempts here or not is another question. You can see we've tried 52 attempts to him. So, for Logan, we've had, for Rucker, we've had 63 attempts, right? So we've been going to these guys quite a bit. I thought for a little while when I was looking at this that, well, maybe the problem is we're not going to the tight end enough and we're spending too much time with the wide receivers. That's not really true. We've been going a lot to Ozzie Newsome as well. He had 51 receptions in real life. He has 23 so far in the replay. So again, I would expect him to be a little bit tired. It's kind of a confusing and frustrating problem because you look over here at Brian Sipe, and you can see that in real life he had 554 attempts, and the replay has 201. I would say that he's probably a little bit over the pace that he should be at, but he's not that far over it. We're probably sort of in line with the passes. So I'm not really certain that I really understand what is happening here other than the fact that we're just simply running more plays, which makes me wonder, why is this game punishing us for being more efficient offensively? You can see here when we look at the offensive usage exactly where the problem is, right? We're at this huge pace, and as a result, the computer is automatically punishing us for being at that huge pace. But no worries, because we can always change this. Now, normally, I would have gone here to the rules page and made this change before the beginning of the season instead of part of the way through. I actually do have a problem with myself going through this part of the way through the season, because it kind of doesn't really add, it doesn't really help out the project very much, if you're changing the rules just part of the way in. However, in this particular case, I really think that there's something that needs to be done. So I am going to go here with a recommendation that's here on the Action PC forums from a while ago, and let's see if we can figure something out here. So we go over here to usage. This is what we're looking for. Really what we want to do is we want to get rid of all of these usage penalties for guys who don't really need to have it, right? So in particular, penalties for rushing attempts, passing attempts, and things like that, we kind of want to take away. And so what we can do here is we can look and say, okay, anybody who's had over 50 rushing attempts, over 10 receptions in the replay is not going to be subject to these season usage penalties, and see if this will help out a little bit. We actually don't have game usage penalties turned on, and sort of see if we can let's see what else we can do here. Anyway, we'll sort of see if we can have this help us out as we're going through and playing around with this season. We do want the game fatigue meter to be a thing. I still like that. I like the fact that this is something. But if we continue to have problems, I might actually go into that meter and start changing things around as well. Among other things I will say about Action PC Football, I do like the accuracy of the game a lot, and I love the way that the game plays, but it's things like this usage penalty system that is a little bit unclear, where I'm not exactly sure what the penalty is and why this keeps happening and what I'm supposed to do about it. It's stuff like that kind of makes me a little bit upset, right? I wish that this sort of thing were a lot more transparent from the very beginning of the game so that you would know, oh my gosh, if we have an offense that is more productive than the offense was in real life and we're running more plays as a result because we have the ball for longer periods, right? The game's going to punish us for doing that, and we're not going to be able to play with good players, and we're going to end up losing a game as a result. We don't really want that to be the case. So we're going to play around with this a little bit more as we go along. The plan here in the future, as you will see, is we have a number of different projects coming up that will include doing things like playing with seasons in which we have schedules that are larger than the schedule was in real life. And when that happens, we're going to really have to do a whole lot of fiddling around with, here it is, with the rules section and with these usage rules. One other thing I'll say, and this actually applies to all of the Action PC games. The games are great, simulations are great, but these menus are really, really, really confusing because normally I would expect this to be under tools, but no, League Tools does something that's completely different. You would think maybe this is under setup. No, this isn't under setup. Setup gives you like the display, the field display, the sound settings, and stuff like that. Now, this is all under rules for some reason, even though I wouldn't think that fatigue settings and usage settings would normally be a rules thing. Anyway, if you're having trouble with your fatigue settings, this might be some place to look. We'll see what happens as we move along. If we are able to overcome the problems, then we'll be happy and we'll just keep moving forward, and that will be that. And that's it for today. I sure hope that you've enjoyed this. Hope it's at least somewhat helpful and somewhat useful for you. Take care. Bye.